Chase Young played his first game for the San Francisco 49ers, and I got to say, it looked pretty damn good. The defense came alive. I know that Steve Wilkes was on the sideline. I'm sure it had more to do with that. But that aside, the defense certainly came to life, and the defensive line was as dominant as it's been all season. It looked fantastic. They were always around Trevor Lawrence, making things tough on him. Do you think that Chase Young can have a CMC like impact on this team? The way that CMC brought life into the 49ers. Now, obviously, I know it's a little bit different offense, defense, what have you. But just overall, do you think injecting him into this lineup can give them the life that they need to make this run and do a lot of the same things, maybe behind the scenes for the 49ers that CMC was able to bring upon this team?
So you kind of changed the question mid-question. So are we talking about CMC like impact? Like,
Let's talk about like impact. Let's go that way.
okay, because the CMC like impact took an offense that struggled scoring the ball
Okay.
and added 11 points per game. Didn't matter who was throwing the ball to that offense. So that's a huge jump, right? They went from a team that was struggling to win games to a team that rattled off what 8, 9, 10 wins straight. So I guess if it's like impact, meaning do I think the 49ers could go on a streak like they did with CMC? Was interjected, yes, but I don't know if it's going to be because of Chase Young or just because of everything that is coming together. Now, that's not to say that Chase Young isn't going to make an impact. I just think that this defense in the first 5 games was lights out, right? So I think Chase Young makes it easier for this defense to be lights out because now you can't go one-on-one with anybody because somebody's going to be able to take advantage of that. But I think the bar is really, really high when you put a CMC like impact because what he did for this offense, I don't even think any player on defense is capable of upgrading them as high as CMC was able to upgrade this offense.
Yeah, most certainly. The impact that CMC had was astronomical. I do think that the impact is going to be huge, though, for this defensive line. Not just because he's great, Sunil, but because you saw it immediately in game one. The depth that they now have along that defensive line allows them to get rest across the board. You're able to sub out guys like Armstead and Hargrave and Bosa, unlike they were able to do before because they didn't have that depth. Bringing in Young and Gregory, really, the two of them has pushed everybody down the depth chart and made this a lot easier. When the 49ers have been at their best, it's been because of the defensive line depth. It's been because of the rotations they've been able to make where they pull out all 4 starters to start a drive, and then they bring them in on a crucial third down. And Chase Young being on this team allows them to do that again. It allows them to have their identity again. So I don't know that he'll have that type of impact. I mean, this team was only giving up 17 and a half points a game. It was
Right.
actually pretty good. But if we look at how worn down they were against a team like Cincinnati and then how rejuvenated they were, yes, the bye week was in there, but I do think just that overall rest will keep the most important part, the highest paid part of the team fresh throughout the season. And I think that's super important. So I think he's going to have a massive impact. I don't know that it'll be as big as CMC's because that impact was, we knew it was going to be awesome. I don't know that we thought it would be that awesome.
Right. I mean, look, CMC made the Raiders think that Jimmy G was somebody that they should throw that type of money at, and he's not even playing. He's a healthy on the bench guy, and they're playing a rookie. So CMC makes the game look easier for anybody playing quarterback. He makes the offense run. But I think you said it well. I mean, Chase Young doesn't mean he's not going to make a huge impact. He clearly is. It's just, it's like you could say like a certain player like is good, but then when you compare them to like the greatest, it's a little too much. So I think it's more of that. But I agree with you. I think Chase Young means that there's no weaknesses on this defensive line. And, also what it does, Jesse, you talk about depth, but in case of there's, God forbid, an injury to somebody, now there's another guy in Chase Young that could be the centerpiece as well. So it just gives you a lot of weapons that weren't there previous to that trade.
Absolutely. Johnson, this is your warning. You can say whatever you want, you can challenge a take, but the moment you start going at either somebody that is a guest of mine or somebody in the chat on a personal level, you're gone. I don't allow any of that stuff. So that's your warning. Okay. Let's talk Brother Bob here. He says, Sunil, tell us how great Kyle is with 18 All Pros. He's
It's
always
great.
coming at you, man. He's
I
always
mean,
coming
the
at you.
way that he's able to put all those pieces together and attract them to this organization, it's all because of Shanahan. Hey, when were 18 All Pros trying to come to San Francisco before Shanahan was here? Riddle me that, Brother Bob.
Fair. That's totally fair. Brother Bob says, so if a team wins the turnover battle, yet loses, that says a lot about the offense ineptness because the defense is giving the offense opportunities, right?
Okay, so I put up a tweet about that the 49ers have won every single game. They've won the turnover battle on except one, which is the Cleveland game. But Jake Moody missed the field goal. Otherwise, they would have won that game as well. Um, Actually, in that case, Brother Bob, that's special teams, not really the offense. So once again, step your game up if you're going to come to me, bro.
Oh, that's funny.